Mr. President, thank you. Let me start by thanking Deputy High Commissioner and expressing my happiness for presence of women and girls from Afghanistan for today's discussion. We thank the Special Rapporteur, Mr. Richard Bennett, for his latest report and continued commitment. The report paints a stark but accurate picture of the situation in Afghanistan, one that Afghanistan civil society, especially women, have been urging this Council to confront with urgency. Since the Taliban's military takeover, Afghanistan has undergone not a reform of justice, but a dismantling of it. As detailed in the report, the Taliban de facto authorities have abolished the constitution, nullified all laws protecting women and children, and replaced the legal framework with unpublished edicts issued arbitrarily at provincial or national levels. Courts are staffed entirely by Taliban-appointed male judges, often without legal training, enforcing a harsh interpretation of Sharia that lacks consistency and due process. Women and girls have been removed from every layer of the justice system as judges, prosecutors, lawyers, and complainants. The Afghanistan Independent Bar Association has been dissolved. There are no licensed female lawyers in the country today. Police units handling gender-based violence have been dismantled, and complaints of abuse, rape, or forced marriage are either ignored or lead to reprisal against the victims. The requirement of a mahram, a male guardian, to access courts, travel, even appear in public has become a tool for control, silencing women by cutting them off from any form of remedy. Mr. President, since February 2025, the Taliban have escalated their repression. They have banned women from attending private medical training institutions and trained to revoke licenses of NGOs that employ women. In March, the so-called Ministry of Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice began enforcing bans on women's voices in public broadcasts, extending censorship to include female poets, singers, and educators. The so-called courts have overturned divorces granted under the previous government, forcing women back into obvious marriages or charging them with adultery for remarrying. Peaceful protests have been met with violence. In late February, a group of women protesting education bans in Kabul was dispersed with gunfire, and several were detained and disclosed locations. More than 40 civil society activists, including ethnic minority leaders, have been arbitrarily arrested since February, with many reportedly held with charge. The Taliban's General Director of Intelligence continued to carry out home raids, device searches, and enforce disappearances, especially targeting those suspected of dissent. Mr. President, these actions are not administrative failure. They are the core of an ideological project to enforce a gender-segregated authoritarian regime. As the last Human Rights Council resolution on Afghanistan rightly stated, this is an institutionalized system of discrimination and exclusion. As the Special Rapporteur emphasized, it may amount to crimes against humanity, including persecution on the ground of gender. Mr. President, the international community cannot continue to express concern without consequences. We fully support the Special Rapporteur's recommendation to establish a new UN investigative mechanism, independent but complementary to the current mandate. It must be empowered to document violations, collect and preserve evidence, identify perpetrators, and support avenues for justice, including through the International Criminal Court and other accountability forms. Mr. President, we also stress that any engagement with the Taliban must be strictly conditioned on verifiable human rights benchmarks. This includes immediate reopening of schools for girls, of all ages, removal of mahram restrictions, reinstatement of women's rights to work and move freely, and the restoration of a functioning right respecting legal system. Empty rhetoric from the Taliban cannot substitute for measurable change. Support for Afghanistan civil society, especially women-led organizations and excited legal professionals, must be sustained and expanded. We urge all members to act, support the creation of an investigative mechanism, strengthen international accountability, conditions all engagement on human rights, and stand firmly and urgently with the people of Afghanistan, especially its women and girls. I thank you.
Thank you.